The movie opens in 1879 in the small town of Rose Creek, which is under the oppressive rule of a ruthless baron and gold mining tycoon. With a private army of hired guns, he forces the townspeople to work in his mine for minimal pay, trapping them in poverty and fear. In desperation, the townsfolk gather at the local church to discuss how to defend their land and protect their families. Amid the tension, Matthew Cullen and his wife Emma boldly declare they will never surrender their land to the baron. Suddenly, the tyrant, Bartholomew Bogue, arrives with his men silencing the room. After being called out by the angry residents, Bogue coldly states that Rose Creek has little value unless it starts producing profit. He warns he'll return in 3 weeks and expects better results. To send the message, Bogue's men open fire and set the church ablaze. When they attack the preacher, Matthew tries to intervene, confronting Bogue and asks what kind of man he is to harm innocent people. In response, Bogue shoots Matthew dead in front of Emma, leading to a number of other citizens being killed by Bogue's men in front of their families. Before leaving, Bogue orders the sheriff to leave the corpses where they fell, so the rest of the town can be reminded of the price of defiance. In a different town, a lone rider enters on horseback and walks into a saloon. He calmly asks the bartender about an outlaw named Daniel Harrison, better known as Powder Dan, who is wanted for murdering a tenant farmer and his son in cold blood. Sensing trouble, several men in the saloon reach for their weapons, but the stranger's faster. He shoots them all with precision, leaving them wounded but alive. As more men prepare to act, a gambler named Faraday intervenes, preventing further bloodshed. Suddenly, the bartender makes a move to shoot the stranger, but the man shoots him dead, revealing that he had recognized the bartender as the fugitive Powder Dan. The man then orders the rest of the patrons to fetch the sheriff. Terrified, everyone flees, except for Faraday, who remains unfazed. Soon after, the sheriff arrives and confronts the stranger at gunpoint. The man identifies himself as Sam Chisolm, a warrant officer and licensed peacekeeper in 10 states. Coincidentally, Emma Cullen and her companion Teddy Q are also in town, seeking help. After Chisolm confirms that he's captured Powder Dan, Faraday, on his way out of the saloon, is ambushed by 2 brothers who accuse him of cheating in a card game. They drag him outside the town, intending to kill him. But Faraday distracts them with a sleight-of-hand card trick, then swiftly shoots one brother dead and wounds the other in the ear. Before leaving, he warns the surviving brother not to cross him again. Emma and Teddy explain the dire situation in Rose Creek to Chisolm, detailing the townspeople's suffering under Bogue's brutal rule. Desperate, they offer Chisolm all the money they have, hoping he'll help. At first he refuses, until he hears Bogue's name. That changes everything. Determined to take action, Chisolm begins assembling a team of skilled fighters. He starts with Joshua Faraday, the gambler and expert trick shooter. Chisolm offers to pay for Faraday's horse if he agrees to join the cause. Faraday accepts. Chisolm then sends him ahead to Volcano Springs to recruit a man named Goodnight Robicheaux. While traveling with Emma, Chisolm comes upon a house with a dead body inside. There, they encounter Vasquez, a wanted Mexican outlaw squatting in the abandoned home. Though Chisolm knows there's a bounty on him, he gives Vasquez a choice: face capture or join their mission. Vasquez agrees to join the team. Faraday and Teddy arrive in Volcano Springs and witness a standoff. 2 men engaged in a shooting contest aiming at cups. One of them accuses the other, a quiet and precise man named Billy Rocks, of cheating and demands a proper duel with double the wager. As they prepare to draw, Billy calmly removes his hat and drops his gun. When the signal is given, instead of drawing a weapon, Billy swiftly hurls a pear-pin into his opponent's chest, killing him instantly. His deadly accuracy leaves the crowd stunned. Meanwhile, Goodnight Robicheaux, Billy's partner, collects the bets from the spectators. One reluctant gambler refuses to pay, until he hears Robichaux's name and immediately pays double, intimidated by the sharpshooter's fearsome reputation. Faraday and Teddy approach Robicheaux, who's in the middle of getting a shave, to recruit him and Billy. Robicheaux shares how he met Billy in a Texas saloon where Billy single-handedly fought off a group of men with his bare fists. The two have since partnered up, earning a living through fights and sharing the profits. Intrigued by the offer and the pay, they both agreed to join Chisolm's mission. With the group growing, they now search for the legendary tracker, Jack Horne. At Horne's farmhouse, they encounter two outlaw brothers who claim that Horne is dead. One of them boasts that he killed Horne by smashing a boulder over his head, causing him to fall off a cliff. They took his rifle as proof of death to claim the $1,000 bounty. Suddenly, a hatchet strikes one of the brothers in the chest. Jack Horne appears, very much alive, and brutally kills the other brother by stomping his head. Chisolm tries to recruit Horne, but the grizzled tracker walks off silently without saying a word. On the road back to town, the group encounters a Comanche named Red Harvest. Chisolm, knowing a little Comanche, speaks to him and asks him for his help. Red drops his kill on the ground and cuts out one of its organs to offer it to Chisolm. He reluctantly bites into the organ to prove his loyalty, so Red agrees to join the team. Horne then joins after tracking the group down. Upon arriving in Rose Creek, the seven launch a fierce assault against Mccann, Bogue's lead enforcer, and his team of hired guns. In a brutal shootout, they kill 22 of the Blackstone private detectives who had been guarding the town. Red unleashes a flurry of arrows, Horne hurls his hatchets with deadly force, Billy slices through enemies with swift knife attacks, while the others unleash gunfire on Bogue's men. Robicheaux, however, hesitates to pull the trigger, which allows Mccann to escape on horseback. After securing the town, the group sends the crooked sheriff, Mr. Harp, back to Bogue in Sacramento with a message. Chisolm is waiting for him. Chisolm tells the terrified townspeople that they have 7 days before Bogue's army arrives, as the ride between Rose Creek and Sacramento is 3 days. The seven round up the townspeople with Emma's help to inspire them to fight for their town and their families. Some flee, but most are determined to fight. The seven liberate the men held at the mine and take the explosives stockpiled there and spend the next week fortifying the town and training the people. Meanwhile, Bogue kills Harp and orders his Comanche enforcer, Denali, and his right-hand man, Mccann, to assemble an army. The seven train the townspeople to defend their home and grow fond of them. Billy instructs them on using knives, while Faraday and Robicheaux teach them to shoot. The inexperienced citizens don't get it immediately, but they pick up and do better. Emma manages to be a better shot after having learned from her father as a child. Traps are laid out and people are at their stations. Robicheaux, haunted by the horrors of the Civil War and fearing the killing he'll be part of, tells Chisolm he wants no part of this, and he decides to ride away into the night before the battle. Emma offers to take Robicheaux's place. Bogue arrives with an army of mercenaries and attacks the city, which has been rigged with multiple bombs and traps. A massive shootout ensues, during which Robicheaux rejoins the group. Mccann shoots and wounds Faraday but is killed by Vasquez. Bogue then unveils his secret weapon, a Gatling gun, with which he decimates the town and kills many of both sides. Realizing they're outgunned, the seven evacuate the townspeople and mount their last stand. Horne protects a wounded Teddy from gunfire, but is killed by Denali. Denali then prepares to kill Emma. An enraged Red Harvest kills Denali, calling him a disgrace. Faraday, wounded in the gut, tells Chisolm that he has to take out the Gatling gun and says Chisolm owes him cover. The two rush out, Faraday grabs a horse and begins a long sweeping charge toward the machine gun. The gun crew is bemused as the lone attacker gets closer. They shoot at him. Robicheaux and Rox are killed by a second round of gunfire. Faraday then rides up to the remainder of Bogue's men and the Gatling gun. After he is riddled with bullets, he makes a final attempt to destroy the Gatling gun by detonating a stick of dynamite, destroying the Gatling gun, the rest of Bogue's men, and himself. Bogue flees into town where he is confronted by Chisolm. Chisolm takes out the two hired guns and confronts Bogue right in front of the burnt-down church. They have a duel, with Chisolm shooting Bogue's gun out of his hand. He shoots Bogue in the leg as he tries running into the church. As Chisolm is strangling him, he reveals that Bogue and his men sexually assaulted and murdered his mother and sisters during a raid several years ago. Chisolm has a neck scar. He had barely survived the lynching. After imploring Bogue to repent,
Chisholm begins to garrote him. Bogue tries to draw a hidden revolver in his boot, but Emma kills him. In the aftermath, Faraday, Robicheaux, Rox, and Horne are buried in town and honored by the people of Rose Creek as heroes. Cullen remarks that their heroism made them legends, and that it was magnificent. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.